It means new transportation, clean energy, and telecommunications networks.
It means a healthier environment,
national security, and economic freedom.
That's good for our families, good for the world,
and good for our future.
Let's get America back to work.
Let's invest in Ohio.
Let's invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com.
Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions Forum.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local. Just the way you like it.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
For generations, Made in America has stood for quality and craftsmanship in manufacturing, food production, technology, and construction.
The Made in America label has brought our country economic security and our innovations to the world.
Made in America isn't just a slogan, it's the story of our country, the men and women who sacrificed to build our nation.
It's our commitment to hard work, ingenuity, and to making things better than the way we found them.
America is ready to get back to work.
And we can start by rebuilding our infrastructure,
strengthening our manufacturing base,
and investing in our businesses and our communities.
Made in America means hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country.
It means new transportation, clean energy, and telecommunications networks.
It means a healthier environment,
national security, and economic freedom.
That's good for our families, good for the world,
and good for our future.
Let's get America back to work. work.
Let's invest in Ohio.
Let's invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com.
Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions Forum.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I checked on Ford.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny skies. Daytime high of 64 degrees. Overnight low of 41 degrees under partly cloudy conditions. Mix of clouds and sunshine for your Wednesday with a high of 67. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Welcome to the show, people. It's everybody's favorite day.
National Meatball Day.
National Meatball Day.
Ooh, meatballs!
Meatballs are fantastic.
Hey, bring some meatballs!
Meatballs? Would love the recipe for those meatballs.
Never have to buy meatballs again.
Today's weather forecast is cloudy with a chance of meatball.
And heavy on the meatballs.
How are the meatballs coming?
Some excellent meatballs.
Showtime.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Ooh, meatballs. I like the sound of that. National Meatball Day. I'd like some meatballs in a bowl with some cheese on them. That'd be good. Or, maybe some spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know. Meatballs sound good. Are you a meatball guy, Biffy?
Meatball hoagie.
Meatball hoagie. Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect. Oh, that may be lunch. Could be breakfast.
Late breakfast, baby?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Meatball hoagie. That sounds really good. A meatball hoagie from, what's the place down in South Wheeling you guys go to? Hoagie King?
The Hoagie King.
They have good hoagies, right?
Yeah.
I bet they got a meatball hoagie.
I tell you what, though, if I'm getting meatball hoagie on Monday, it's one of two places. It's either Janet down at Valley Cheese.
Okay.
Or over to Neely's.
I was thinking about Neely's, yeah.
Those are the two. Either one. It just depends. I try and go evenly, but that's it. Either Valley Cheese or Neely's for my meatball hoagie.
Oh, a Neely's meatball hoagie. I hadn't even thought about food, which is bizarre for me. It's 9:12 in the morning, and I haven't even thought about food yet. But I haven't thought about food. But now, oh man, meatball hoagie. That sounds good. What if they do one down here? I have this, the Elm Grove, Elm Grove Sub Shop, or what's this place down here at the Elm Terrace Shop? It's a new one.
Elm Grove Subs.
Elm Grove Subs. They have good stuff. I don't think I've ever tried an Italian hoagie or a meatball hoagie. They have to see if they have one of those. In celebration of whatever it is, International Meatball Day, or whatever today is. 8:13 on the Watchdog Morning Show. We've been all over the field. If you just joined us, we talked about the Capitol and how there's still a lot of fencing up and razor wire and and the aftermath of the January 6th insurrection and how much security is going to stay in the nation's capital. We talked about that with our D.C. reporter, Tom Scudieri. We just got done talking to Senate Minority Leader in West Virginia, Stephen Baldwin, about proposals that he and Sean Fluharty and some others were talking about yesterday. Instead of trying to attract people with an income tax reduction, how about trying to attract them with jobs and quality of life issues? Pretty good stuff, I thought. Thanks to Senator Baldwin for joining us this morning. The CDC has issued new guidelines on how those of us who already are vaccinated can begin to rejoin society. The short answer is hang around with other vaccinated people and you're in pretty good shape, or hang around with non-vaccinated people who are not particularly susceptible to COVID. The younger folks who don't have any predisposition to it. So that's good stuff too. Locally, I want to get into some of these stories. Wheeling University placed on probation. Controversy over the Ohio County deputies in schools. I thought that contract was resolved, but I guess it's not. I-70 traffic patterns are going to be changing again. And there was a story. This is not a story I would have brought for conversation today, but it was when I looked at the comments, and Senator Baldwin pointed out, and I think Biff, you would agree, just stay away from the comments. Stay away from the comments.
Yeah.
But this is on WTRF's Facebook page. The story is Bel Air police bust alleged prostitute who advertised on escort website. Police Chief Dickie Flanagan says he received information about a woman operating as a prostitute out of a second-floor apartment above a former bar. He located her on an escort service website, set up a contact time and place, and then an undercover officer in a plain vehicle met her at a gas station in Bel Air. Flanagan says she got in the vehicle, asked the man what he wanted. He said he wanted oral sex. This, by the way, has to be a typo. This has to be a typo. She quoted a price of $350 for oral sex in the front seat of your car? It has to be a typo. Don't you think that? I mean, surely, not suggesting that you would know, nor would I, what the going rate is, but I can't believe it's $350 for a little oral action in a car.
I guess it depends on what the town, city, village, or whatever you're in.
Or I guess who it is, but I'm looking at this mugshot and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't help but think it's a typo. Anyway, the chief said as the officer and the woman drove away from the gas station, officers and two cruisers intercepted them and arrested her. Suspect identified, I'm not going to give her name, 40-year-old, whatever, who has several prior arrests. So I would not have bothered to talk about this story so much, although it is interesting the extent to which Chief Flanagan went to deal with, you hear rumors there's someone operating as a prostitute, and then he looks her up on the website, and then he arranges a sting, and then he's got, two more, so he's got an undercover cop committed to it, and two more cop cars are going to woo, bring him. Seems like a lot of effort for a, I start to say low-class hooker. I don't know if she's low-class or not. I should be careful about that. But, well, at $350 per pop. That's a bad way of phrasing it. That seems like overkill on the cop front. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, what got me was I started looking at the comments, and that was a mistake. I agree. But when I looked at this story last night, there were 258 comments. 258 comments on this story. And this morning it's up to 286. And what's amazing is how many people are suggesting that just leave her alone. One person says, oh my God, it's an honest day's work. Let her live. Another person says, Ralph says, I would think by now women would rise up and tell men they can't tell them what to do with their bodies. Modern women should be allowed to do whatever they want with their bodies, and many do. Body parts are like masks. My body, my rights. Okay, I'm not sure I would draw the correlation between prostitution and mask wearing, but okay, all right, okay. Shannon says, so two consenting adults say they want sex and one goes to jail? Doesn't exactly seem right. Gary says, come on, she's just trying to work. Someone says, dumb and a waste of time. A lot more problems than this in Bel Air. If two adults want to have sex for money, let it be. Another one. I don't see the point of arresting people for private transactions between consenting adults. Rob says, $350? That better be the best you ever got. And on it goes. Alan says, no stimulus, so have to make money somehow. Okay. All right. I'm not going to read that one. That's Amanda said, do guys really pay that much for asking for a friend? Anyways, 286 of these. And and most of them seem to be defending the young, she's not a young girl, she's 40 years old, but seem to be defending the girl. Now, I'm neither defending her nor criticizing her. Prostitution is illegal. I don't know that it should be. Consenting adults ought to be able to say, in my mind, hey, let's, the old argument, Biffy, sometimes if you go on a date and buy the girl dinner, is anything expected? Is that any worse than just doing it right up front? How about $350? I don't know. But it amazes me how many people on this Facebook page are suggesting that it's okay. Kelsey says, imagine being proud of policing a private activity between two consenting adults. Stop criminalizing sex works and using the taxpayers' money to do so. Cody, who cares? Sex work should be legal. Times are tough. Give her a break. Don't you have bigger fish to fry, Dick Flanagan? And then someone points out, which is a good point, because they did list the address in this story. Someone says, so now I know where to go.
Exactly.
Looking just real quick, anything else here? Anyways, it amazes me. Almost 300 comments on this simple story. Now, again, it was an unusual story. It does seem to me it's a bit of overkill. Maybe there have been lots of complaints about this. In Wheeling, when we tend to have prostitution stings, it's usually because people are complaining because the hookers, I don't know that we have that much going on anymore. I'm probably naive, I know. But, back in the old days, I used to be able to drive around the street corners and see them hanging out on the street corner. It's one thing to be sort of a public nuisance, and I would get that. There would be people complaining about women standing out on the street selling sex. And I get that. But this I don't know, unless there was more to this story than what is in the Channel 7 report, and it might well be. It could be more to it. It just seems like Dick Flanagan went really overboard. I hear there's a hooker in your town. Well, a hooker in my town. I'm going to go get her now. He had to look her up on the website. Had to find her on the escort website. Then set up a sting. Then have two more cops. I don't know. But 286 people at least felt a need to comment on that, which I thought was really unusual. But somebody points out to me oftentimes they say, Howard, never read the comments on Channel 7's website. It must attract a lot of, unusual commenters. All right, 9:22 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. There are some other local stories that are of more interest and more conversational value, including Wheeling University being placed on probation. We will talk about this and more coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Got some more Governor Justice stuff I want to get into. Capitol Report is still coming up. And speaking of the Big Seven, we'll check in with our friends from the Big Seven to see what they're working on this morning. Lots to do before I turn things over to Hoppy at 10.
Tune in to the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, weekday morning
Rubbable and stain-resistant finish. Pick up a gallon of flat paint today for only $19.98 after 11% rebate. Save with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Good through Saturday, March 13th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Glendale. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Glendale trusts the Watchdog.
The Valley's most interesting conversations continue now on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, brought to you in part by Wheeling Hospital.
50 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 50 degrees here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 50 degrees at the Robinson Auto Hub Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. A couple of news stories here locally I wanted to take a minute or two to chat about. Wheeling University has been placed on probation by the Higher Learning Commission. That's the group that accredits colleges and universities. Now, they have not withdrawn the accreditation. They have not taken away their accreditation, but has put Wheeling University on probation. And I'll make an effort to get Jenny Favit on to see if she has any thoughts and want to offer some comments on this. I've not tried to reach her just yet, but last couple of times I've tried to reach out to Jenny, she's not been able to come on with us. Anyways, the HLC says that there are a number of problems at Wheeling University, some specific ones. The institution does not have sufficient fiscal resources to support its operations. They don't have enough money. Two of their critical planning documents, they do have a couple of strategic plans. Two of their critical planning documents contain exceedingly optimistic targets for critical indices of fiscal health. In other words, the documents that are their strategic plan are based on, my phrase here, sort of blue sky numbers. An example that the HLC gives, the strategic plan calls for the institution to increase freshman retention from an historic baseline of 71% in fall of 2020 to 85% by fall of 2023, but they say they don't really say how they intend to do that. One of the big things that I certainly have, in keeping my slight eye on this whole thing, have been concerned about, the HLC takes note that Wheeling University has relied heavily on the support of the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston. I mean, they would have not been able to keep on going as far as they have if they hadn't got a huge influx of cash from the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston. Of course, a number of years ago, before Jenny Favit was there, and I guess when it was still Wheeling Jesuit University, in fact, under previous Bishop Bransfield, the diocese took control of the property, and then that gave the university up enough money to keep on operating. The diocese has committed $7 million over 6 years to Wheeling University, but the Higher Learning Commission says, but that's not something you can continue to count on. That's not something that is a basis of your financial support. So those are just a couple of things they point out. There are other issues that they raise in their fairly lengthy letter to the university. The university says, and I quote from their statement, "We welcome this chance to improve as the university as an institution that embraces and meets its challenges. The university has already begun and will continue to respond effectively, making steady and significant improvements to its financial planning and assessment. And it goes on. We remain committed to excellence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really it's a dangerous situation, and I've felt this all along, and I really want Wheeling University to succeed, but Biffy, we've talked about it going all the way back to when they lost their Jesuit accreditation. There was a period of time where I didn't think they'd keep on this long. I hope Jenny Favrett's able to put together a sustainable plan, but I'm not so sure that they have. Some other local stories coming up, including changes in the I-70 patterns and also some talk about Ohio County deputies. But first, who's on our sitting net hotline, Biffy?
Our friend Bob.
Bob is here. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Howard. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I can't complain, Howard. We made it through another winter, it looks like. I'm knocking wood as I say that, but yeah, things are good.
Howard, don't you think a big snowstorm coming up,
Probably. You're going to hit with a blizzard here next week, folks, so hold on tight.
Yeah.
Howard, doesn't this seem to you, now I don't know, is WVU interested in an off-branch, off-campus Wheeling location? Because to me, it's absolutely perfect.
I mean, that's certainly been speculated a lot, that they would like to have, to use Wheeling Jesuit.
Well, they took the hospital away from them. Hell, they might as well take the college too, right?
And I think that changeover will be official, based on something I got in the mail yesterday. I think that changeover becomes official in less than a month. It will now become WVU Medicine Wheeling Hospital. So,
it's not going to be WVU Wheeling Central anytime soon down there. I mean, they're not thinking of high school too, are they?
Not that I'm aware of, but...
All right, well, hell, when things are tumbling, you just never can tell. But you know what? I think that would be a very good fit. The school, whether it was Jesuit or Wheeling College, it hit some tough times, and it just might be the time. I think that would be an outstanding thing. If the campus is nice, I think WVU would be foolish not to take a hard look at that.
Yeah, I don't know if they are, but I think it would make some sense for them to do that. I don't know enough about their strategic planning, but I mean, clearly under E. Gordon Gee, the game plan is to expand, to add more.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. And this would be. They don't have any physical location up here in the Panhandle. They do some classes up here, but I don't.
I think it would be perfect. I mean, the campus is the right size for that. I mean, hopefully they would do very, very well. It could be a shoot-off, maybe a medical school to go with their new hospital. I mean, who knows the possibility? You have what was the old the girls' school right over the hill? There's plenty of property there. If you would hit the jackpot and wanted to expand, I mean, the sky's the limit right there in that location. Of course, you got a lot of buildings still there with Mr. Bird's name on it. It's got the West Virginia feel. I mean, it's a perfect fit, Howard.
Well, you got Mr. Bird's, you got Senator Bird's name on it, and you got Irma Bird.
Emma's there too. So it gives that West Virginia feel. It's like I said, I think it's a perfect opportunity. But that's not what I called you for.
They ran out of letters for Robert C. Byrd, so they had to start putting Emma on there instead. I think.
Sure, she deserves a little plug. Howard. I'm not up to date on this income tax change like you are, but isn't our governor one of the wealthiest people in the state, which would hence make him a pretty good income coming in that he would be eliminating paying tax on?
He is the wealthiest individual in the state, the only billionaire we have in West Virginia. That's
because we're letting chop their money up a little bit, Howard. Let's don't nitpick here, but okay. The guy's doing very, very well for himself. That was my point. So isn't that like, okay, one of the last things I'm going to do before I leave here is I'm going to eliminate this damn income tax thing that I've been paying into or not paying into.
Well, there's no question. I think he's acknowledged that. He's going to get a pretty good break from this. No question about it.
Isn't that a conflict?
But we have to keep in mind, it's a general rule, he doesn't pay his taxes anyway.
Howard, I've been telling you that since the first inauguration when he was on your team. You're preaching to the choir here, pal. I've been barking up that bush since day one. When you used to praise him and he was welcome on your show before he said, you know what, you Democrats, I don't want to be on your team anymore. Remember those days?
Well, let's be clear. He's still welcome on my show.
Sure, but are you going to do your Ted Clampett accent, you know?
He just doesn't want to come on.
Golly geez, all shucks, all them things.
All I'm looking for is goodness. I'm just looking for goodness.
We all are. I'd like a little goodness up this way myself. There's nothing.
At the end of the rainbow, Hoppy. At the end of the rainbow, Hoppy, there's nothing but goodness for this state.
Yeah, I told you the guy was a buffoon and crooked as a dog's hind leg way, way back, Howard. So again, Now the other thing I want to ask you is, I've been off Pepsi for a while, but if I was them, I'm getting sick and tired of being taxed. And I would get my lawyers together. If I had to make a phone call to Warwood, I would certainly do that to get his input. And I would say, hey, is this constitutional where they can just, anytime they want, put a tax on us? We're a soft drink for goodness sakes. We don't have a label on our pack that says this is going to kill you according to the Surgeon General. It's not that great for you, but get off our back. Enough's enough.
It's interesting you say in the beginning he was going to tax tobacco and soft drinks. Now he has since then added alcohol. But in the beginning, it was tobacco and soft drinks and alcohol, which is...
Okay, if you're on a jury, Howard, and I have a sharp lawyer and I'm Pepsi, can't you see the point I'm trying to make here?
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a legal argument to be made there, but...
Wait a minute.
I get your point. I do get your
tax
point.
orange juice. Why are you picking on me would be my case.
Well, the argument, of course, is that the soda pop is bad for you.
What the hell is it, Howard? Big Macs are bad for you, too, but to compare Pepsi to alcohol and tobacco... You know what Nancy is? But Howard...
I don't want a Big Mac tax now, for God's sake, come on.
Well, that's the point I'm saying. To compare Pepsi, which we all agree, I give it up because it wasn't good for me. But to compare that to alcohol and cigarettes, I think you're going a little bit above. Again, there's dozens, hundreds of things out there that you could point the finger at and say, you know what, you ought to stay away from that. Candy, for God's sakes. Why not put a sin tax on candy?
Don't you touch my Reese's Cups.
See, you're selfish. It's all right to go with the Pepsi, which you don't drink, the booze, which you've got off of, and the cigarettes, which you've never been. Okay, yeah, so put the tax on everybody else. That ain't fair, Howard.
Don't you just listen? I don't want a tax on not on my Reese's Cups, not on my sausage, gravy, and biscuits. By God.
Well, maybe if the governor's probably monitoring you like we suspect, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Macs aren't $8 a piece in this state. He'll say, there's an idea for you. There's some goodness. By the way, give me a couple of those Big Macs while you're out.
You make, I'm not sure you can make a constitutional case against it, but there is a certainly question to ask, why do we pick on certain products and not others? Yes, as you point out, tobacco and alcohol literally have warnings on their labels because they've been shown to be, bad for our health.
Especially how
soda pop. I don't drink Pepsi, but I got my Diet Dr. Pepper in front of me right here. It doesn't tell me it's bad for my health, even though probably it is. So, your point's well taken.
This is the golden age of pointing a finger at everybody and saying, how dare you, get rid of that, from cartoons to everything in between. That's why I can't believe a lawyer hasn't said, enough is enough. You just can't, you're not the king of, where you can just say, we're going to tax this, and that's where we're going to get our money, and guess what? I'm going to get away from paying a lot of money when I eliminate this tax. The guy is he's been out of control since day one, Howard.
Well, I don't quarrel with that. He's done some good things, and he's run amok an awful lot.
You and I could do good too. Somebody put billions of dollars in his hands. Spread it out through the 55 counties. We could do a lot of good with that too.
Yeah, listen. If I owned the Greenbrier, I'd just stay at the Greenbrier and not want to run for governor. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we've had that. Why? But now the chickens are coming to roost. We're seeing why. He's going to say, you know what? A lot of business come his way during these, we're 6 years or 5 years now in. And on the way out the door, he eliminated the biggest tax he had to pay himself. I think the man did pretty good for himself, Howard.
So he'll be able to call it success when he's done.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think when they're going to run the guy out of New York because of his wrongdoing, they ought to take a look at him down here too, Howard. It's just that the guy's crooked. I mean, he makes his own rules from where he lives and where he does his business from. Again, enough's enough. We're 5 years into this nonsense.
I don't totally disagree with you. Again, I'm not sure that I agree with your legal argument, but I agree with your philosophical argument.
But listen, I wish you nothing but goodness, and keep chasing that rainbow, Howard. And it was good talking to you.
All right, and I'm getting closer and closer now to thinking about lunch.
Well, you call me because I'm ready.
All right, Pat. Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
All right. Yeah, at the end of the rainbow, Hoppy, there's goodness in this state. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much income tax Governor Justice, let me phrase this correctly. I don't know how much he is supposed to pay. I don't know what his income tax liability is. But he is our only billionaire in the state. I have to assume it's a pretty hefty amount, right, Biff?
One would think so.
So certainly an income tax reduction will benefit him. And others, you know, I mean, and that's the thing about this, the eliminating the income tax and shifting it to sales tax. The people that benefit the most from the income tax, of course, are the wealthiest folks. The more money you make, the more you will save in income tax, right? So they're the ones who benefit. The sales tax changes, I'm not talking about the pop and the alcohol and tobacco. I'm talking about the sales tax in general, the general sales tax going up 1.9%. That's what the yous and I's of the world will end up paying. We'll still have to pay it. Those in the upper echelon won't. So it really is a complete shift of the tax burden. And that's something we've got to keep in mind. The governor wants to get rid of the income tax, but he wants to replace it with a sales tax and other things. That's shifting the tax burden from the very wealthy or from the wealthier to more of the average person. And keep that in mind as this whole debate plays itself out. All right, 18 to the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show. We better check some headlines. Metro News is here. They've got that for us. Billy D's got our morning sports report. We got the Capitol report to get to. We've got Bob Westphal from the Big Seven coming up. And if I have time, a couple of more local stories as well. Watchdog Morning Show for a Tuesday.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
host the New York Rangers. In this division matchup, the Penguins are 14-9-1. In their last 10 games, Pittsburgh 7-3-0. The captain, Sid Crosby, leads the team with 8 goals, 14 assists for 22 points. In his last 10 games, Chris Letang has 5 goals. Newly acquired defenseman Mark Friedman, he's been placed on the injured reserve list with an upper body injury. Well, following an off-day Monday, the Buccos are back in action in sunny Florida when they play Atlanta this afternoon. College basketball note, West Virginia, with their recent loss to Oklahoma State, drops to number 10 overall. Speaking of Oklahoma State, the two teams will play in the Big 12 tournament starting Thursday. They will face each other again. NFL note, if you're sitting down, quarterback Dak Prescott has a brand new deal, and it's the best in Dallas Cowboy franchise. 4 years, $160 million, $126 million guaranteed. Are you kidding me? Hey, be safe out there. Be considerate of others. Please check on the elderly. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Every weeknight at 6 p.m., join the voice of the Mountaineers, Tony Caridi, on The Watchdog. Tony informs and entertains WVU fans with the latest Mountaineer sports news. If it happens in the world of gold and blue, Tony knows about it and shares it with you. Sportsline, weeknights at 6 on The Watchdog.
It's your turn to talk. From politics to pet peeves, get it off your chest and on the air. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Rocks and things, there was sand and hills and rain. The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain.
It's 13 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. We're talking about this prostitution arrest in Bel Air and all the comments about it on the WTRF TV Facebook page. Let's see, off the text line at 304-214-1600. Howie, it's been so long since you used a prostitute, you don't know the price of oral sex. I don't. That's true. But I still can't believe it's $350. I mean, unless you're doing a high-end Las Vegas true call, I don't know. Also on the same subject, off the text line, 304-214-1600. Howard, supply and demand. Doing a job not everybody wants to do. A service for single or not exactly the most handsome dude in the room. Didn't expect to pay minimum wage, did you? She's not a sharecropper, but she's doing a job not everyone wants to do. $350? It's just, she said, I don't know. Talk about Governor Justice. He went off on a rant yesterday during his press briefing. You know, the governor wants to get these buckets where he puts all of this COVID money. Well, he wants to have all this money saved up for the future, right? And that's good. We should have rainy day funds on. I'm completely in support of the concept. But he wants to take, remember, we still have $600 million of the first round of COVID relief that we haven't spent. And we should be getting another, perhaps it says 1.2 trillion. No, that's not right. 1.2 billion in money from the second round of COVID relief money. And the governor wants to put them into his buckets and save them. Not spend them, but save them. And he's really unhappy about the fact that in this current round of COVID relief, the bill puts restrictions on how states can use that money, and it specifically says you cannot save it for a rainy day in order to backfill tax cuts. It says that specifically in the bill, which Justice said yesterday, wow, that's all just about petty nothing. That's the only reason it's written in there, it's petty nothing. I don't know what petty nothing means, but that's typical justice. I mean, he was just really distressed about the fact the federal government wants him to spend the COVID relief money for, well, COVID relief. Because he wants to put it into his buckets. Now, he says he thinks he'll still be able to do it. And the federal government says, no, you can't. No, you can't. You're not going to be able to do it. State and local governments may use the money for revenue losses for water, sewer, and broadband, but not for tax cuts, shoring up pensions, not for rainy day funds, or for any non-pandemic related expenditures. So, governor's all ticked off about it. That's all I'm going to say on that. We may talk more about that tomorrow, but he's all frustrated and distressed. 10 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let's take a look at what else is happening in the state capitol with our Morning Capitol Report.
This is the Metro News Capitol Report, brought to you by AARP West Virginia, your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. Today's report in 60 seconds.
AARP is your ally for real possibilities in the Mountain State. A wise friend and fierce defender for everyone in West Virginia as you get older. With more than 250,000 members and communities in all 55 counties, AARP is working every day for you. We have financial tools and health guides to help make sure the good things in your life live as long as you do. We're helping you protect your hard-earned money, sharing tips and tools to help you spot frauds and scams. At the same time, AARP is advocating on behalf of West Virginians 50 plus of their families at the state capitol. Every day we're supporting family caregivers and fighting for things like better high-speed internet access across the state. And AARP has information on COVID-19 vaccine distribution.
Okay, we'll do that right after this. I'll make up I screwed up on Watchdog Madness, so I'll make it up tomorrow. Yeah, that's what we'll have to do. That's okay. Yes, I think, we needed 7, I think we said, right? So that's fine. We'll make it work.
Legislature in the months after the 2014 chemical spill and water emergency on the Elk River in Charleston. The oil and gas industry is the push behind the bill, claiming many of the tanks don't hold anything that would contaminate drinking water. A bill requiring a state license for a needle exchange program in West Virginia is on third reading in the Senate today. On second reading in the Senate, the State Treasurer Riley Moore's Jumpstart Education Savings Program, targeted for saving money tax-free to be used later to cover business startup costs, equipment, tools, certifications, and licenses needed in the vocation or a trade. The U.S. House could vote as early as today on final approval for the $1.9 trillion federal stimulus package. It includes $300 a week extra in unemployment benefits until September. Governor Jim Justice says it should have been $400 a week.
A bigger stimulus package is what is needed to finally get up the steepest part of the mountain.
I'm Jeff Jenkins on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Well, he also really took Manchin to task yesterday in his press briefing. We'll maybe talk about that a little bit tomorrow, because he and Manchin are going at it tooth and nail once again. Let's see what they're working on over the Big 7 this morning. Bob Westfall is here from WTRF-TV. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Howard. How are things in your neck of the woods?
We've been reading some of the comments on your Facebook page on the Bel Air prostitution story.
Yes.
It is amazing to me the things that people will find to comment on.
It could be interesting at times, absolutely.
You have almost 286, when I checked the last time, comments about a prostitution arrest. I mean, what can you say? Well, I guess, what can you say about it? A lot of people are saying that they think that the woman should have been left alone. But, I mean, geez, a prostitution arrest is just a prostitution arrest, and 286 people want to make some comments. It is, to me, amazing.
Yeah, everyone's got an opinion, I'm sure.
And they share it with WTRF, apparently, all the time.
Absolutely.
What are you working on today?
John Lynch has that warm, inviting personality that people just feel like they need to share with him.
I think that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. What are you working on?
All right, first things first, we're going to try and follow up on the Ohio County PRO situation in Ohio County schools. A little bit of we told yesterday, Sheriff Howard is not happy with the way things progress. So we are going to try and track down someone from the Ohio County schools, see if they will talk to us about that. So
I thought that had all been resolved, but apparently not.
No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, it's resolved in the fact that they pulled some PRO from schools and things like that. But I still don't think the sheriff is happy about how things how it all shook out. So we're going to try and get the school side from that today.
Okay.
So that's something we're working on. Also, today is well, not ironically, but first positive case of COVID-19 in the state of Ohio was 1 year ago today. So DK is doing that story today. We're going to take a look back. What was the first? How bad did we think it was when it first started? I'm sure we didn't think we'd be doing this a year later, talking about COVID, wearing masks, sitting at our desks, and things like that. So 1 year. I think West Virginia's first case is next week. 1 year anniversary is next week. So
it's just hard to imagine it's been a year.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna mark both anniversaries today with Ohio and next week with West Virginia. Yeah, who knew we'd be doing this a year later? So we're gonna do that story today. Our healthcare hero tour, our thank you continues today. Catherine is out at 3 hospitals today. I want to say Harrison, Reynolds, and Barnesville. Thanking them for all the work they've done during the COVID, during the year. So that's going to continue today. Sad story. Joe Rosen may not be a household name to a lot of people, but we've done stories with this man over the years. One of the longest living heart transplants. Recently just passed away. I think he was around 65. Got transplanted around 29, 30. So he had been there. He'd had the heart transplant. But anyway, we're going to just honor him a little bit with a little obit today. So we've got that today. And then, of course, we're going to follow the weather. The weather continues. Looks like some rain Thursday into Friday. But we'll have that. Dr. Dave will be on that. Aaron will be on that today. So kind of a little bit of everything like that. And then finally, an update on the I-70 Bridges project. Talked to Mike Witherow yesterday. He said today at some point the westbound lane of I-70 will move back to the westbound lane where it normally would be. And then next Tuesday, the eastbound lane will move over. So they're switching the lanes so they can work on that stretch from the Fort Henry to the state line of Ohio. So still a lot of things going on, a lot of things moving when it comes to the Bridges project.
And bottom line is just be careful over the next couple of weeks. They're going to be changing some of those patterns. We've gotten used to the pattern that we're in. It's going to be a bit different. A little alertness will be really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, things are changing. And that's something else you notice is you come out of the tunnel when I leave work at 5 o'clock, the sun is right there.
Yeah.
When you come out of the tunnel, be prepared. I mean, let's just take it slow. That's all I really can say is just let's take it slow and be careful, not only for other drivers, but the people working in those construction zones.
Yep, absolutely true. Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll check it all out at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 for the statewide show, and always at WTRF.com, where they comment on pretty much everything at WTRF.com. All right, Bob, good talking to you. We'll do it again. Thanks a lot.
All righty, bye-bye.
Well, I think that's about it. I got to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Kercheval's got the calm coming up next. He'll start things off with Brad McElhenney on the latest coming out of the state capitol. A little bit later on in the statewide talk line show, Dave McKinley, the 1st District Congressman from the Wheeling area, will be on hand to talk about the COVID relief bill. And formerly from Fox, now fired, Chris Steyerwalt will be in with Hoppy as well. That's coming up today, shortly after the 10 o'clock news break. As for me, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring, don't get impeached, don't retire, don't overeat, and the heart keeps on ticking. And Teddy says it's okay, go back to work tomorrow, Granddad. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, another go around of the big gig. Are you back with me, Biffy?
I'm here for a Wednesday.
we're going to keep on going until we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
I'm Sherry.
All right, Biffy, kind of nudge me tomorrow to make sure I get 3 of those watchdogs in. I have Victoria's schedule. That's all I've got. That may be all that I bother to schedule, given how it's a short day and I don't know what else might be going on. Invariably, if I schedule somebody at 8:10 and 8:40 on Wednesday, there's something else I need to deal with, so I may just leave it with Victoria and leave that alone. I don't know. Well, we'll make it work one way or another. All right, I should be around. Teddy's he's got a doctor's appointment this morning, so his mom took him to that. I know his dad took him to that, so he will be here in a little bit, and we'll play. My God, he almost killed me yesterday. My heart was beating. So, jeez. He wanted to go out in the backyard and play Mario. I didn't know what that meant. Well, basically it just meant that he runs around and I run around and chase him. I can't do that. My heart was like, I can't run around like that anymore. Holy mackerel. But we had some fun. Yeah, it's the weather's getting better and he likes being outside. And he'll be here later today. We didn't get to the park yesterday, but it was still a little cool. That wind was cold yesterday. So maybe we'll try the park today. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think tonight he's got Taekwondo, though. Oh, yeah, he's learning his Taekwondo. So, and he laughed at me. I said, Teddy, I'll take you to Taekwondo. Maybe I could learn it, too. You can't learn it, Granddad. You can't learn that. So that's exactly right. Yes. So, all right. Have a good day. If you need anything, I'm around. Call me. Otherwise, I will just talk to you in the morning. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye. Yep.
Support. They use 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back. And my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.